Alright, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be starting making the lower grill. In the last episode I made a smaller grill and basically reproduced, I mimicked everything that Dodge did. So I'm going to do the same to this bigger grill, make it out of aluminum. If you want more details on like the full process and everything, I would suggest you go back and watch at least the start of the last episode if you have not already. So for this guy, I've already got this. This is just a piece of stock here, and I've already got these upper pieces cut. So I have to finish welding these inner grill inserts and this upper bar right up here. So I don't have any of this plate yet because I didn't know how much I would need, and I'm not going to know that until I've got the main structure done. And I also don't have this round piece up here yet. So in the next video, I will be doing these inner plates, which will be a lot of work just to get these down. That's going to be a lot of welding and then a lot of grinding to make it smooth. So just for now, I'm working on the main structure of this lower grill. Alright, so I'm sitting here. I just finished welding this guy into place, this upper piece. Finished blending all the welds in on all four corners. Everything's nice and square, straight and ready to go, and I've encountered an issue. Kind of a big one. So, and this is really my fault. I made the mistake. I was not paying attention or whatever and did not measure correctly, or for some reason thought it would work out in the end or something. I'm not too sure on that. But it really has to do with the height of the inlays and the height of these center supports. So let me show you that real quick. All right, so I'm here with my center supports, and as you can see, they're flush, which does not match the original grill. And I knew this going into it because when I was measuring the stock for this guy, I basically was saying to myself like, hey, I'm going to use the same size stock on the original grill and everything will work out just fine. But everything is a little too different to be doing that. These center supports are much smaller on the bigger grill, and so are these support pieces right here, these inlays. So same thing with this guy. I was thinking it was a lot taller. It's not. Completely measured wrong. It's my fault. So I've got the correct size stock now that I can make everything exactly correct to match this guy. I've just got to do some cutting down of pieces. Some stuff that I was hoping not to have to do, I am now going to have to do. So I got smaller stock, some solid 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch square stock. So I'll be good with that. But I've got to cut this top bar off completely and put the new piece on that I need. So, and it'll be the same height as this guy, which is 3/4 of an inch tall. this matches and this matches the original grill measurement wise. So I know that those are correct. Everything else that I've tried to put into this is incorrect, and I need to fix that. Thankfully, I recognized the issue before I actually started getting into it completely and welded these center supports. So that's the next thing that you're going to see. It's going to kind of revert back. This is going to have to be flat again. I got to cut these pieces off and get everything back to this big U shape. So we'll see how she comes out. Hopefully I can get it nice and smooth and not too jankety, but we'll see. All right, so I just finished cutting back all of this craziness going on that I was going on with. Basically, I had to remove this top bar like I explained, and I had to get a bunch of different stock, and I'm in a good place now to where I can start moving forward again with the grill. I've got everything prepped and everything's ready to go. The center supports, you can see I went with the smaller ones. So they're a lot better for what I need. They match the height of this guy right here, and they match the height of the original grill. So I'll be able to weld those in correctly. I've had to trim some pieces down, but that's what it is. You know, I'm just having to adapt right now. For the top round piece of the grill, there's a little rounded section. I split a piece of pipe in half, and then I split that half into a 45 to make my little radius. Let's see if you can get that. All right, so I got this guy all figured out. This had to be 3/4 of an inch, while this had to be an inch on the top. That was one thing I had wrong before. But getting this radius correct was a big deal to match the old grill. This craziness right here is a 1/4 inch gap that I had to fill. But you can see it all kind of came together very well. Not a whole lot of warping. I did put 1/2 inch solid stock on the back, so it should be a lot stronger at the top of the grill, because the bottom of the grill is very strong with this. It's 3/4 by 1.5 inch tubing, so it's going to be very strong at the top also. So I shouldn't have any issues with strength. It's just getting everything sorted right now, and it looks like I've been able to do so. It's going to look a lot better correct than trying to jerry-rig the old way and get everything figured out that way. So I have a lot of grinding I have to do on this piece, get this all smooth and sand it out and get the finish correct. Then I can weld these corners back, and then I am ready to start putting in the center stock and put the grill inlays in. And I will have to do some filling with the plates on the sides. But for this video, all that I'm doing is welding this guy back on up on the top, and then welding these center inlays in, and that's it. The next video will have some grill inlays welded in, and then the outer plates. That's going to be a lot of welding that I have to do. But overall, it's a lot of work that's finally starting to come together. So hopefully I didn't put too much heat into this joker. Alright, I was able to finish welding the grill, the main structure of the grill. So I got this upper rail up here done, and then these center pieces welded in. They're not ground in yet, so they're not smooth and contoured and made to look pretty, but they're strong, so that's all that I need right now. Really, I'm trying to fit it on the truck and get a good judgment of whether everything will be lined up or not. So these plates over here are not welded in, but I'm gonna go get the center grill inlays, and we're gonna kind of see what the grill's gonna end up looking like. They're not gonna drop in right now because I have to do some fitting to them, but we'll get to see a good image of it. All right, so here everything is just thrown on here. Again, these plates are not welded in or anything, and everything looks like it's generally gonna end up lining up. So these will sit flush with this piece and this piece, which is at 3/4 of an inch above whatever flat surface or backing. These jokers are going to be quite terrible to weld in. But let's go mock it up on the truck real quick, and we'll see what everything looks like. Alright, so the main thing that I was worried about when I was making this grill was getting these guys lined up right here. These two lines of the fenders matching with the grill. The fenders are not straight. They're completely cracked and bent apart. Everything's going a little crazy with them. So that'll be a video. I'm gonna have to re-rivet these sides and everything, but getting these angles correct and these distances correct was important. I did match the grill entirely. This guy's got to be ground down, but I did match the original grill, and everything is exact. You can see it all. It's fitting pretty well. This isn't the final resting place for the grill, but it's just hanging up there. You can see the grill from the last video. Looks really good on the truck. And this guy will too, once I'm done. So lots of progress was made on this grill. Didn't show a lot of the grinding or anything like that, but this guy took a couple days, just say a week, and this one's probably going to take around a week and a half. All the smoothing is what takes time. The welding doesn't take a whole lot of time, except for welding these top pieces together and the longer runs. Just getting everything intact and together is the easy part. It's then making it nice and pretty that's hard. So the next video will be me welding in these inlays and then these side panels to block off the joints and everything. I don't know how I'm going to attach it to the truck yet. I'd like to keep it somewhat original, but I also use different materials than what it was designed for, so I'm probably going to have to make my own hinges, and I kind of expected that. So we'll see on that. I just want to make it look normal from the front, so if you're looking at it normally, the screws will be in the same spots as it came originally. So it's been a lot of work to this point, and I'm tired of sanding, but it's going to be worth it in the long run. I will be eventually taking these fenders off, like I said before. I'll be doing a whole video on that and straightening them and re-welding all the cracks. They're kind of tore up on all the sides, so I'm going to be working at getting those straightened out, so then I'll have a really good visual of the front end and see if I need to start getting into straightening any panels up here. There is some stuff up here that needs to be addressed, but that's way down the road. The reason I'm not getting this truck running yet and like working on the mechanical side is there's some issues that need to be addressed. One is the clutch master cylinder. I just finished rebuilding it, and I'll be doing a video on that at some point, but I have to make new lines all the way to the slave cylinder, and I have to also replace the slave cylinder. So I want to have an operating clutch before I even start considering thinking about trying to run this, because even though it is out of gear by the shift lever, I don't want to take a chance and that the truck just runs away from me, and not the motor running away, but the truck running away. So I'm trying to do everything legit. I'm not trying to do shortcuts here and there because I want to get to the cool stuff, but I will be eventually getting to that of getting the vehicle running, sorting the wiring out. There's a lot of craziness going on up in here in the terminals. So all that has to be addressed. It does look like I will be able to polish the paint up, which will be pretty nice. So it'll be the patina look with the rock chips on the front, and hopefully have some shinier paint up here. But right now my main step is everything that I'm pulling off I want to fix before I put it back on, so I'm not having to deal with it later. So these grills probably won't be on for a month or two until I get the truck actually running and driving and getting everything fixed. So a lot of work on this truck, and I knew that going into it, but it's just little steps here and there that eventually get you to the end product. So I appreciate you getting to this point if you have. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good one.